Hello there, viewers. Welcome back to Learning English is Fun with me, Teacher Fidelis. For this particular episode, I want to use it to talk about listening and speaking. Just a reminder that the same things that you are covering in junior school form part of the things that we are looking at in senior school. Therefore, all the strands that you had in English in junior school, you continue having them in senior school. For example, we have listening and speaking, writing, grammar and use, and reading. Each strand that we have, again, has different substrands. For example, in listening and speaking, we have substrands that focus on listening. For example, extensive listening, critical listening, among other items. For speaking, we have public speaking, we have speaking etiquette. I'm very sure in junior school, you looked at nouns, the 8 parts of speech. I'm very sure that you looked at that. Now, can you write down for me the 8 parts of speech? Yes, I know you can. So we have nouns, adjectives, verbs, prepositions, among other items. We still have the same in senior school, but then we progress. We have more information. We dig deeper into some of the strands that we have. Now, today specifically, I want us to use our book, Top Notch English, and this is for grade 10 students. The lesson today is on etiquette. So another thing you note in senior school is that for everything that we learn, the 4 strands that we have a specific theme. And the themes are so good because the moment you pick on a certain theme, you get all the activities talking about this particular theme. The first theme that we have in our textbook here, and again a reminder that whatever we have here is accordance to what has been directed or what has been given by the KICD. So the curriculum design is what has been used to come up with this book. And if you have this book, we said it's a workbook, so you have the notes. Like now, today we look at etiquette. Etiquette is the theme. And then under that, you have the 4 strands. So whether you're looking at grammar in use, whether it's writing or even listening and speaking, for all the sentences that you'll be making, all the conversations that you'll be having, all the dialogues that you'll be having, all these will be focusing on etiquette. So if the teacher, or in this case the facilitator, is asking you to write a paragraph, what is being assessed is etiquette. Which words do you use to showcase etiquette? Please, can I have a piece of cake? I'm so sorry, I am late for the lesson. Excuse me, could you assist me with a pen? Which other words do you use to showcase etiquette? Yes, Write them down for me. Write them down in the comment section, and we shall look at them together. Now, for social etiquette, we look at different scenarios, different situations, and we look at how we showcase or use etiquette in these situations. I'll give a simple example such as greeting. Whenever you're walking around and you happen to meet someone, what is the first thing that you do? You say hi. Very good. You say hi. You say good morning. Now, take this scenario. If you're talking to someone who is older than you, someone who is your senior, how do you say good morning? Do you say, let's assume that you're meeting your grandmother and her name is Nelly. What do you say? Do you say good morning, Nelly? Or what do you say? You say good morning, grandmother. How is your morning coming along? If you are talking to your teacher, you'll say, good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. when you're greeting someone and you acknowledge them, especially someone who is senior than you, by using a title, that is a very good aspect in terms of etiquette. Now, have you ever gone to a restaurant? What's your favorite restaurant? Which one? Kempinski? Mama Rocks? Which one? I'm sure you have a restaurant that you like. When you get there and you want to order for some food, and you get into the restaurant, you sit down, but then you want to signal the waitress or the waiter to attend to you. Which words can you use that show that you are a polite person? You can say, excuse me, kindly help me with the menu. Good, that's a good one. What else can you say? You can say, excuse me, madam, can I make an order? That's another nice way of talking to the waiter or the waitress. Now, I have a question. Assuming that you have requested for something, maybe some porridge, some tea, some coffee. You have gone to a restaurant for breakfast, but then you order for coffee, but the waitress brings porridge. How do you respond? How do you respond? Remember what we are looking at? Etiquette. Polite language, polite phrases, polite expressions. You can say, excuse me, whatever I requested for is not what was offered. So what can you say? You can say, excuse me, I might be having an issue here. Or you could say, excuse me, kindly help me out. I had ordered for coffee, but unfortunately, the waitress brought porridge instead. How can you assist me? That would be a good way of using etiquette without demeaning this person in as much as they have done a mistake. Now, when you have a dialogue, maybe you're having a dialogue, you're having a conversation with your friend, you're having a class discussion, how do you observe etiquette? You observe etiquette by first of acknowledging the other person. You might be having divergent opinions. That does not mean that you're foes. You're not enemies. Therefore, you can tell the other person, I hear what you're saying, but I beg to differ. You see, that way, it means that you're using a polite phrase. Whenever the other person is talking, before you chime in and add whatever it is that you have, it is important to let them finish. Therefore, whenever you have a conversation, there must be turn-taking. Turn-taking is a very good aspect of observing etiquette. The moment the other person is done speaking, then you can come in and share your opinion, share the information that you have. The moment someone is done giving a contribution to the discussion that you have, it is important to say, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for letting me share the information. Please allow me to share the information that I have. So remember those words that you can use whenever you're having a conversation with a friend or with another person. Another item where we can showcase etiquette is when you call. You can make a call, and we have something we call phone etiquette. Now, my grade 10s, do you own a phone? Do you own a digital device? Do you use it? How do you use it? So, for example, let us look at a grade 10 student who is in school and they want to talk, or maybe they're at home and they want to talk to the teacher. So the moment you're making a call, how do you showcase etiquette at that first moment when you're making a call? Yes, you say hello, and then you must introduce yourself. Yes, correct. So for example, you can make a call and say, hello, this is Mary Odhiambo talking. Can I kindly talk to Madam? then give the name of your teacher. You cannot make a call and go straight to what you want without introducing yourself. Let me give another scenario. In schools, you'll find that we have secretaries who pick calls, and whenever a person is calling a school, the first thing the secretary does as they pick the call is to give their name. They say, yes, this is which school? Use the name of your school. We can have a makeshift name and say this is El Mubora High School. You're speaking to the secretary. How can I assist you? How may I help you? Then the moment the secretary gives you that information, on the other hand, you should say, this is Mary. I'm calling from this and this place and I need this and that. That is the first thing. The moment you say hi, introduce yourself. If you're talking to a senior person, ensure that you always add a title. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. If you know the name of the person you're calling, then you can say, good morning, Mr. So-and-so. Good morning, madam, so-and-so. Away from that, the moment the other person starts explaining something, let them explain. Let them finish what they're saying before you can interject. Because the moment you come in and start talking before they are done talking, then that is not a good sign. It shows lack of etiquette, and in this case, telephone etiquette. Maybe there was an issue. Maybe you're late. You needed to be in school at this particular time, but you didn't make it on time. So express yourself. Say, kindly allow me to express myself and let you know why I was late. Go ahead, use words that showcase etiquette, and the moment you're done explaining whatever it is that you're explaining, say thank you. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. So for a telephone conversation, for you to showcase etiquette, it starts from the word go. As you say hello, introduce yourself, use polite language as you express yourself, and once you're done with the call, say goodbye. Thank the person you're talking to, and then say goodbye. Now, using our top-notch English book here, I will share something that you can actually use. So if you have your text on page 8, you see, there's a student and an older woman, and what we have here as part of speaking etiquette is respectful greeting. And as you read the text, it has some notes. The notes tell you how to observe good manners, how to be polite, and the number of instances where you can portray speaking etiquette. For example, when you want to call, when you're speaking to others, or when you visit a restaurant. So the activities that we have in Top Notch English for grade 10 is helping you understand social etiquette by the mere fact that in some of the conversations that we have here, the speakers have adhered to polite language. They have observed social etiquette. But in another conversation, we have a conversation where the two speakers have not observed social etiquette. And then now the activity is asking you, once you read the conversation, which character or which person has not observed a telephone etiquette or speaking etiquette? Which words would they have used to showcase speaking etiquette? And that is not the only conversation. We have another conversation between a secretary and Nekesa. Nekesa is the person calling. Let me read the first part of this telephone conversation, and then you'll answer the question that I will give. Secretary: hello, Maji Mazuri High School. How may I help you? Nekesa. Hello to you, madam. I am Sylvia Nekesa and I wish to speak to Mr. Kasuku. Can I repeat that? Yes, let me do that for you. The secretary says, hello, Majimazuri High School. How may I help you? Nekesa answers, hello to you, madam. I am Sylvia Nekesa and I wish to speak to Mr. Kasuku. Using those two, tell me which words have they used that showcase telephone etiquette? Which words have they used to showcase telephone etiquette? Which two things have the two speakers observed as analyzed in telephone etiquette? So you have those two questions. Answer them, and if you want more, ensure that you get yourself a copy of Top-Notch English for Grade 10. So that will be the end of the lesson today. That was listening and speaking, and the sub-strand was speaking etiquette. We have looked at three instances or three scenarios where you can use social etiquette, and that is one in a restaurant, a telephone conversation, or when having a conversation with a friend. Remember to answer the questions that I've given at the end of this particular episode. I'll see you next as we look at another strand, maybe writing or grammar in use. Until then, it's a goodbye from me. Bye.